Good evening. Good evening, President Rodriguez and esteemed board members and Superintendent Raymond. My name is Jennifer Lopez, and I am the new Charter and Network Oversight Coordinator here at Sac City Unified School District. Tonight we have two parts. We have a public hearing and a board action. I'm going to be presenting the staff report and recommendation during board action, and we'll be proposing that the board adopt resolution number 2723. So on September 4th, 2012, we received an independent charter school renewal from Aspire Capitol Heights Academy, also known as CHA. Capitol Heights is seeking a 5-year renewal term for their K through 5 education program. So in accordance to Ed Code Section 47605, the public hearing is a time for the district governing board to see the level of support for the charter school petition. So Aspire Capitol Heights will do a brief presentation, and here we have today Central Valley Area Superintendent Mary Welsh, as well as former principal Nate Monley, and now current principal Kristen Murphy. So I want to call up Mary Welsh to come to the podium. Thank you.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, members of the board, and Superintendent Raymond. We come to you tonight to request a renewal of the charter for Capitol Heights Academy for another 5 years. We received our initial charter from this district in 2003, and then we had a renewal in 2008. And I would like to thank the district for the partnership that we've had and enjoyed over the last 10 years. We look forward to hopefully another 5 years with you, working to provide high quality and high performing schools for every child in Sacramento. Tonight you're going to hear about the work of this extraordinary school and its amazing service to students and families in the Oak Park area. To begin with, Capitol Heights is a school under the management of Aspire Public Schools. We are a nonprofit organization currently operating 34 schools across California in 3 distinct regions, 9 cities. We now serve over 12,000 children, and we are among the highest performing high poverty school systems in California. Across our organization, our student performance continues to grow as we add new schools. You can see on the slide that our average API is now 820. Our average similar schools rank is 9 out of 10, and of our secondary schools with seniors, 100% have been accepted into a 4-year university in the past 2 years. On the next slide, you see a picture of Aspire Capitol Heights Academy. We operate in a leased building that used to be the former Immaculate Conception School, and we have a lease with that church and the Diocese of Sacramento. In the past this has been going on for the past 10 years, ever since the school closed in 2003. We've renovated the site extensively, and it's really a wonderful facility in a neighborhood that we are devoted to serving. Capitol Heights opened as a K-8 school. It's now a K-5 school, changed a few years ago, and it's now at capacity with 290 students. You can also see our diverse student population. We have approximately 54% African American students, 31% Hispanic, 7% multiracial, 6% white, and 2% Asian. 90% of our students receive free and reduced lunch. And of our population, also 15% are English language learners, 8% are special education students. We believe that as we come before you tonight that we've met the requirements of a renewal for a charter in California. We've had a state growth target of 0 for the last several years because we've already met the state target of 800. However, in that time, Capitol Heights has now grown another 82 points in the past 5 years since we were last year. In addition, it is required that the school have a ranking of between 4 and 7, and as you can see in the state ranking, we have a 7, and in the past 4 years, we have had a 10. So at this point, I'd like to invite up to be with us tonight our extraordinary leaders, Nate Monley, principal of Capitol Heights from 2009 to last June, and Kristen Murphy, our current principal. And they're going to talk with you about the accomplishments of the school.
President Rodriguez, members of the board, Superintendent Raymond, It is my pleasure and our pleasure to be here tonight. I was a principal for the last 3 years, and now I direct our teacher residency program. I'm also a parent of a child at Capitol Heights Academy, and it's a school that's really close to my heart. So Superintendent Welch already spoke with us, Mary spoke with us about some of the achievement that we've seen at our school. We're very, very proud of our academic achievement, especially as measured by the API. Last year, we recorded our highest API yet at 870. As you know, getting up over 800 is a place where a lot of schools plateau once you get there. And so for us to see this growth was really encouraging for us last year. We have been ranked 10 out of 10 on the Similar Schools ranking the last 5 years, and 7 on overall state rank the last 3 years. One area where we were very proud of our students' achievement was in math. All of our subgroups met their AYP targets in math and in English language arts. But in math, at every grade level, as you can see, our students achieved above 80% proficient or advanced, and all of our subgroups met their targets. We've been recognized in several ways the last few years as a distinguished school. 3 times as a Title I Academic Achievement Award winning school with the California Business and Education Excellence Award. And the one that we were really proud of was the Blue Ribbon Award, which we were awarded in 2010. You might be familiar with the Blue Ribbon Award, but it's something that's given out to about 300 schools every year. The year that we won it, there were 30 schools in California that were honored with the Blue Ribbon Award. It shows that you've closed the achievement gap over time. We turned in 5 years worth of data around everything from academic achievement for every subgroup to teacher retention to students persisting with our school. And it's something that we're really, really proud of. With that, I'll pass it over to our current principal, Kristen Murphy.
Good evening, members of the board, President Rodriguez, and Superintendent Raymond. Thank you, Nate. I am Kristen Murphy. I'm the current principal at Capitol Heights Academy, and I'm so honored to be a part of this amazing school, and I look forward to also being a parent at Capitol Heights in the near future. So our mission at Aspire Public Schools is not only that every child is prepared to go to college, but also that they're prepared to earn a college degree, not just to get them there, but to get them through their college experience. From the moment that our kindergartners enter the classrooms at Capitol Heights, they're making those first steps towards college. Not only is every class named after a university, but you will often see the students creating chants about their universities, learning about that university, and even taking college trips from the moment they enter our doors. Our students believe from day one that they are going to college. It's not a matter of if, they're going. And they work hard towards proficiency and college readiness from the day they set foot in our walls. Some of our program highlights, there's so many elements to our program that help create this college readiness environment. But first one is that we are a small school. We believe that a smaller school helps us keep students from falling through the cracks and allows us to give a lot more of a personalized experience and attention to each one of our students. We have a longer school day and a longer school year with about 186 instructional days for students. Teachers loop so that students are with the same teacher for more than 1 year, allowing teachers to help their students advance at a quicker pace. We invest in our teachers by providing an in-depth training, regular professional development, and many resources and tools to help them become the most highly effective teachers. We constantly look at data to inform how we can best help our students accelerate their learning, and we have some amazing tools to help us do this. We also pride ourselves on the fact that we have an incredibly rigorous academic program. And part of the heart of that is that we believe in the importance of having a workshop format for our teaching, both in reading, writing, and in math. And because of that, we've seen some incredible growth in our data that you saw from both Ms. Welsh and Mr. Monley. But one of the highlights from last year was an 80% proficiency on our CST writing for 4th grade. And with in science, a strong component at our school, we saw the CST science score went up an average of 22 percentage points. On top of the academics, the reading, writing, the math, we also think it's incredibly important to keep our enrichments alive. So we believe in our art program, we believe in our PE program, and our kids are able to do many enrichments on top of their already rigorous academics.
So to close out, we wanted to share some of the faces of our kids, that they're what we're there about, and so here are a few of our students. They all at the beginning of the year write their hopes and dreams for the future, both for this year, what they want to accomplish this year, from the level of reading that they want to get to the future, what college they want to go to, what career they want to enter. This is a student who wants to go to UC Davis and be a veterinarian. These are some of our students and one of our teachers on the 100th day of school. They all dress up as if they're 100 years old. And so that's us, and we really we ask you to consider our request. We really hope that you'll allow us to continue serving students in the Oak Park area. And several of our parents and some of our teachers are here tonight too. We would love to hear any questions if you have them for us.
Yes, we're going to go ahead and take public comment before we take questions, okay? Stay up here, please.
We have one public comment on 11.1 from Willie Williams.
Good evening, President Rodriguez and the other board members and our superintendent. Excuse my voice. When you're working with children, what they have 9 times out of 10, you have also. I'm a former parent at Capitol Heights Academy. The children were there for 6 years, and I have to say that the rigorous program that Capitol Heights offers has been fantastic. I'm biased. We are in a neighborhood where quality education, instead of being the norm, now has really gotten to be the unnorm. So to have a school like Capitol Heights in Oak Park, it's really beneficial. It's an oasis for the kids that are fortunate enough to attend. We have a rigorous program. We have teachers who are really concerned on a daily basis. We have staff that even stays beyond their normal time. They come early, they leave late. We have, you can see from all the experience with both of our principals, our past and our present, thank God for both, that it's an enriched environment where everyone is important. We have lots and lots of caring, loving teachers. It's only one here tonight, but don't let that stop anything. We have a staff that's really fundamentally concerned about every child that's there, and it has to start from the head. We have parents who are very involved in the curriculum every day, volunteering. Sometimes we have to say, go home. And we have a health-based school system where all of our food is highly nutritious, lunch, snack, and breakfast. And I'm very pleased to be a part of Capitol Heights Academy. So beyond all of that, renew our charter for the next 5, 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Terry.
And this isn't a question to anybody. I just wanted to talk about process really quick. And maybe I just missed it last year, but the fact that we're doing these conference to action, I'm not a big fan of. I think that there should be a presentation and do an information item, do an action item separately. I'm not opposed to this charter in any way. I'm happy to support it. I just think that unless it's an urgent item, we should be avoiding conference action items as often as possible in the same meeting. So just my 2 cents.
Thank you. I do have a couple of questions. And First of all, I just want to say this is a very good report. And sometimes when I'm limited on time, I just have to skim through. So just a couple of kind of questions. One of them is, I'm assuming it's Title I students that you're serving, right? Okay. And then the other one is where it's a K through 5 school. So where do the children go for 6th through all the way to high school?
So I was able to talk to a couple of the principals and Mary about this. So some of the students actually end up going to PS7. Some end up going to the district schools that we have surrounding, as well as Alexander Twilight, the other Aspire school.
Alrighty, those are my questions. I don't see any other. Oh, okay, we have Vice President Cunha.
I just want to make a brief comment. I was able to visit Aspire last year, and I was most favorably impressed by the school. The things you do for those kids is truly amazing. And the way you integrate data in the teaching and learning process is something that our district can take a lot from. And I just wanted to congratulate you on what you do there. I think you really put a lot of sweat equity into every kid at that school, and it was, I'm not an educator. I've visited a number of schools since I've been up here, and it was one of the best schools I've ever seen, and the way it worked, and the team you had, and how integrated it was, and how thoughtful the approach was. So, wish well.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. And then we're in action mode, so I will take a motion to move from conference to action.
So, second.
I got a first by Member Terry and a second by Vice President Wu. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed and abstentions? We are now into action. I'll take a motion to approve the renewal petition for Aspire Capitol Heights Academy.
So,
Madam President, this is resolution number 2723 at the dais. So I would ask that there be a motion, a second, to approve this resolution.
Thank you, Council. The motion is going to be for approval of resolution 2723. You still support that motion, Vice President Wu?
I move to approve resolution number 2723.
Thank you. Do I have a second? And I have a second by Vice President Cunha. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And abstentions? The ayes have it. We have an approval for your charter. Thank you. We are now on 11.2, public hearing and action on charter school renewal petition, Solarius College Prep, SAC Prep. And it is a conference action item, 15-minute presentation, 5-minute discussion. Ms. Jennifer Lopez, I will open the public hearing now.
I'm going to ask Norm Hernandez, the principal, to come forward.
No, he wasn't really around.
Good evening again. So I have here Norm Hernandez, principal at Solarius College Preparatory School. He will be, having a short presentation in regards to his school. Following the presentation, I will go ahead and do my staff report and recommendation. So if I could have him come forward and do his presentation. Thank you.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So my name is Norm Hernandez. Thank you for hearing my petition. President Rodriguez, Vice President Wu, Mr. Kennedy, Ms. Yee, Ms. Bell, Mr. Cunha, I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. Terry and Mr. Raymond, thank you for hearing us. So I'm just getting into the presentation for you guys, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them afterwards. So our mission at SAC Prep is to prepare all of our students with the knowledge, skills, and habits necessary to compete and succeed in college and in life, which I believe is perfectly aligned with what Sac City Unified School District is wanting to do with all their students, have them leave the school, high school, college, and career ready. We're just starting that at an earlier age and embedding those skills and habits in the student from kindergarten forward. Our vision when SAC Prep was started in 2003 was to create an effective high school, high-achieving public school of choice that offers students an opportunity to attend a rigorous college preparatory high school in their community. And I feel that we've kind of hit that mark with where we're at now in the Pocket area at the current Bear Flag location. So as you guys are, I'm pretty sure, well aware of, the renewal requirements there are 4 renewal requirements for a charter school. API growth. SAC Prep has exceeded our API growth over the past 5 years, made tremendous strides, even through times of transition. Our overall ranking as of last year was an 8. Previous to that, it was 4. Current ranking is to be determined. We're unaware of that at this moment. And similar school ranking, we were considered, at the time of the rankings, came out previous to last year, we were considered a small school, so we weren't eligible to be ranked. And comparable performance, this would be determined by the board yourselves. And you guys voted, or the board, excuse me for my unprofessionalism, the district board voted for a charter amendment to allow us to extend grades or add grades K4, making us a K8 school in the Pocket area. So I believe, we were on par with similar schools. SAC Prep seeks to collaborate and work in partnership with the Sac City Unified School District, not only to benefit the students who attend SAC Prep, but also to provide an effective urban school strategies and models that potentially benefit students in and outside of the district. So one of the things that we would like to do is when we send our students off to the Sacramento City high schools, that they're better prepared. They enter the magnet schools. They enter the PACE program at Kennedy. They enter the HISP program at McClatchy. And they're one step ahead. We like to make sure that all of our students in mathematics are skipping their freshman year because they've taken algebra at SAC Prep and they enter high school ready to go and high marks in algebra. As a matter of fact, 90% of our students tested proficient or advanced in algebra this year. So we believe that when they hit your high schools, they are going to be very well prepared and able to succeed and bring success to the Sac City Unified School District high schools. And along with that, I work with other charter schools in order to collaborate better with the district, providing information back and forth for best practices for all students, not just ours, but all students, going back and forth. Just some simple facts about SAC Prep. Our initial charter was approved in 2003, and the school opened with 74 fifth graders in Oak Park. Due to spacing issues, the school had to move 5 times previous to last year before arriving at its current location, which is at the Bear Flag Elementary site in the Pocket area. But despite all those moves and all those changes, SAC Prep has continued to show growth and making signs of closing the achievement gap for all the students across the board. As I mentioned before, we're currently located at the Bear Flag Elementary site in the Pocket area, which is 2 blocks from Kennedy High School, which about half of our 8th graders currently attend from last year. In 2008, the Sac City Unified School District Board approved a charter amendment, a renewal to renew our charter the first time. And despite all of the changes in location, we were still able to show signs of growth across the board. In 2011, the district approved a charter amendment allowing grades K through 4, thus making us a K-8 school, and moving us to the Bear Flag location. And in 2012, we were the only school in Sacramento to be awarded the Title I Academic Achievement Award. and moving forward from there, and hopefully we get it again. What we talk to our students about a lot is the price of success. Many schools call it the 5 pillars, the 5 values. We call it the price of success. These are the 5 foundational skills you will need in order to be successful, not only in school, but in college and in your career. Preparation, being prepared, being ready to go when you need to be, being responsible, being accountable for your actions, being respectful to people you may not always want to be respectful to, but making sure that you can show respect. Giving back to your community. Make sure you're always giving back in order to garner the respect of your community. And always strive to be excellent. Never settle for, second best. Always go for the number 1 spot. Okay? Our parents are very supportive. As you can see through a survey that we did last year, our mid-year survey, it was our first year of K-8, and even as in a transition year, overall quality, 90% of our students were very satisfied. Satisfied or very satisfied. 90% of our parents feel that the communication level between our teachers and their family is satisfactory, or they're very satisfied with it. And 91% of our parents are satisfied with the progress that they've seen. Even though we'd only been there for 1 year, they're happy with where the students started and where they ended, or where they were at mid-year when this survey was taken. As you can see, our enrollment, due to spacing issue, our enrollment had kind of fluctuated. It was very low. We were always either co-located with another school. At one point, we were co-located with PS7. Then we moved into our own facility, which we were at a church. And then in 2009, we were co-located with Freeport Elementary. And then in 2011, the board awarded us our own standalone site as Bear Flag, which is the 11-12 year. And we started our enrollment. On the first day of school, 190 students were enrolled. We ended up with about 177 students at the end of the year. And our projections for for this year, we currently have 223 students enrolled, and we're looking to see approximately 250 students next year if we fill all available spaces to us. And again, 11-12 was a transitional year. That was the year that we went from 5-8 to K-8. So that was the first year we had 9 grades on campus, 9 different classes. That's the cause from 66 students to 177. As you can see, our instructional minutes for all of our students across the board far exceed the minimum required by the state. And we make sure we do this because it's part of our more time for students. We want to make sure our students have that additional time to be successful and get all they can get out of the school day. So they're not ushered from class to class to class. They get that extra time where teachers can devote individual learning time or small group learning, which will then help the students that need it the most, which you will see with our API scores. So as you can see, our API scores, as compared to the state, that additional minutes allow for us to be successful with all of our students across the board, where we can outperform the state in general. As you can see, there is really no achievement gap at SAC Prep. Our students of color are performing where they're expected to. We're hoping to get them all to 900 this year. That's my goal for my teachers. I'll be buying them tickets to Hawaii if they do, but it's our goal is to really get them to get to 900. And again, this was our first year where we had all of our subgroups scored. Previous to this, we were a small school, so only our socioeconomically disadvantaged students were scored and school-wide. But we had enough students in all categories to have them scored as well. Okay, and then just the CST results. As you can see, 88%, should be 88% of our students are proficient in math, proficient or advanced in math, and about 85% of our students are proficient or advanced in ELA. That includes our EL learners and our students with disabilities are in those groups as well. So they do perform, according to state standards or the measuring stick, far above expectation. And as you can see, because our expectation is so high and we push the 5 pillars or the 5 values on our kids and our teachers and our parents, our API has grown. As you can see, we went from 643 our first year now to 864. Okay, and we expect it to be even higher this year because we're a freight train nonstop. We're going to keep going, and again, we're going to push our teachers and our parents and our students to strive for the best all the way across. Okay? And our students, when they leave SAC Prep, they end up going back to a lot of the Sac City Unified School District schools, magnet schools such as West Campus, Health Professions, Kennedy's PACE program, Sacramento Country Day, McClatchy, the HIS program. They go to Sacramento Charter High School. So we have students that are in Jesuit, Christian Brothers, Cristo Rey, New Technology, and the School of Science and Engineering. And these are just the list that kind of came to the top of my head. There are other schools that our students do attend, but these are the schools that most of our schools will end up attending once they leave SAC Prep. So I ask that you vote yes for continued success. SAC Prep has met or exceeded our requirements for charter renewal. Our API has grown by 221 points in the 9 years that we've been in existence to 864. And our alumni are entering Sacramento City's Unified School District high schools better prepared for college and beyond. And thank you. So we're excited. There's Bryce. Thumbs up, Bryce. We're excited to work with the school district to raise achievement for all students. And we will continue to work to make sure all our students achieve, not just here, but we collaborate with a lot of the district schools to help them attain success. And, you know, we will continue, SAC Prep students will continue to obtain knowledge, skills, and habits necessary to compete and succeed in college and in life. Are there any questions?
I think we have another presentation, Mrs. Lopez.
Oh, sorry.
President Rodriguez, can we do public comment and then go ahead and do my staff report and recommendation?
Yes. Yes, you can do that.
It's just a little different. Yeah.
It's up to
Full
the board.
presentation, because we do usually do full presentation and then public comment.
Okay.
Yeah. We do have a light on, so Ms. Bell, Member Bell.
Thank you. I just had wanted to say that you've done an amazing job when you went back through all of your different locations. You know, given that kind of upheaval that you've continually had, I think that you've done an amazing job, and just,
thank you.
You know, despite all those hardships. And
well, I also want to say I'm one half. There's the other half. Yeah. So there's two of us, and we both run the school, but
right.
I want to make sure she's acknowledged as
well.
Oh,
yes, yeah.
So really
but you know, you, not you singular, but you
as a whole,
plural as a school, have done amazingly well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. So much of this information that you'll hear today for my staff report and recommendation, you've already heard from Norm Hernandez in his presentation. But I wanted to go ahead and just touch bases. SAC Prep has been in existence for the past 8 years. It opened in July of 2003. So like Norman mentioned, initially it was open for 5th grade to 8th grade, and in 2011 it was amended to include K through 4. So now currently is serving K through 8th grade. It's located in the pocket area in the Bear Flag location. The last charter renewal was in 2008, and they submitted their new charter renewal petition in September 4th of 2012. Their expiration date is June 1st of 2013. So the criteria for charter renewal, according to California Ed Code 47605, a charter renewal petition should not be denied unless specific facts support one of the following findings. So these are the 4 findings. It has to present an unsound educational program for students to be that are enrolled, 2, petitioners are unlikely to successfully implement the program set forth in their petition. 3, the absence of affirmation. And 4, the petition doesn't contain reasonable, comprehensive description of 16 required elements. So with that as well, California Ed Code 47607, the standards for academic achievement, these are the 4 requirements or criteria. Is they have to attain academic growth targets in the prior year or in 2 of the last 3 years. They have to be ranked between 4 or 10 in their statewide rank. Similarly, they have to be ranked between 4 and 10 inclusively in their API similar school ranking. And lastly, they have to demonstrate academic performance of the charter school is at least equal to the academic performance of the public school that the students that attend their charter school would otherwise attend. So with that, I've gone ahead and presented for the standards for academic achievement here that Solaria SAC Prep actually has shown their growth target since 2009, 2010, 11, 2011, 12. Because they've reached an API of 800, they actually don't have a growth target any longer. So that's at 0. In terms of the statewide rank, so they've received 4, 4, 8, and the 2011, 2012 actually data hasn't come out just yet in terms of the statewide rank. But given their API of 864, that should be a pretty high number there. In terms of the similar school rank, like Norm mentioned, because they are a very small school, those asterisks demonstrate that there wasn't enough students for it to be quantifiable. So in terms of the demographics, I wanted to demonstrate to you all that 80% of their students of 2011, 2012 are on free or reduced lunch program. There's about 23% that are English language learners and about 12% of students with disabilities. With that, about 50% of their students are African American, 23% Latino, 8% 2 or more races, 14% Asian, 4% white, and 1% Filipino. The number of students enrolled last year was 176 students. Currently, I know that you have 225. So I wanted to show you, since their last renewal of 2008, their API school-wide went from a 710 in 2008 to now an 864, and growth of 154 API points. As well, you can see the African American population of students, their API this year was an 822. They were numerically significant population in 2009-2010, and you can see the growth there, 59 points. The Hispanic Latino population, they were numerically significant in 2009-2010 again. They received an API of 739, and this year of 915, a growth of 176 points. In terms of lower socioeconomic disadvantaged students, that has always been a very significant number for their students. So in 2007, it was 701 API to 2011-2012 of 873, so an increase of 172. So for ELs, given the fact that the data isn't numerically significant until they actually didn't have a population of ELs that was numerically significant until last year. But they did receive an 897 API. So next year is when we can compare how their students are doing. We will have comparable data. And students with disabilities is 705. So district staff thoroughly reviewed SAC Prep's renewal petition, and overall SAC Prep's petition meets all the requirements of the charter school law, including the standards for the academic achievement, the comprehensive descriptors of the 16 elements, and it presents a very sound educational program, as if you guys have seen and heard from Norm as well. With that, staff recommends that Solaria's charter, a petition be approved. So we also are asking that the board adopts the resolution of 2724. Thank you.
Thank you. We will go ahead and take public comment now before we take questions.
We have 7 public comments on 11.2. The first 4 comments are from David Mack, Luis Ceja, Judy Yang, and Angelita Taylor.
Madam President, Superintendent, board members, good evening. My name is David Mack. My wife and I have a 5-year-old in kindergarten at Sac Prep. I could tell you the things that he's learned at week 2, the benchmarks that he's accomplished at week 2, at week 5, at month 2, that he was reading full books and reading sentences and doing math. I could share those things with you, but that's not really important. We could talk CST scores and APIs ad nauseum. In the aggregate, none of that, as far as I'm concerned, is information that you don't already know or not have access to. So if you would, allow me to share one thing with you about Sac Prep that I'm pretty certain that you don't know. My wife was a middle school counselor. She's now a teacher in special education. A few weeks ago, while Sac Prep was on its fall intersession, our 5-year-old attended her school for one day. As with most classes, kids stand up and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Only once the kids began to sit down, this 5-year-old Sac Prep kid asked the teacher, "Well, what about the school mission statement?" And she replied, "Well, we don't do that here, but if you'd like to do it, go right ahead." This Sac Prep kid walked up to the front of the class, turned and faced the students, and recited the school mission statement. 2 days later, the school had a staff meeting, and the teacher recommended to the principal that each student in that elementary school learn and be able to recite the school's mission statement. Now, Sac Prep is more than just about the tangibles of teaching our children for college or preparing them for college and for life. It's about preparing them individually to make the type of impact in the world that facilitates positive change in hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of others, even though they may be too young to realize it. That is the message that I'd like you to think about this evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Luis Ceja. I'm a proud parent of 3 Sac Prep students and 1 Sac Prep student to be. My daughter, she's gonna go to kindergarten, God willing, next year. We moved to Sacramento back in 2008 when we bought our first house. Got the kids enrolled in school, and everything was great. The year after that, we got a flyer in the mail inviting us to go to Sac Prep and see what the school was all about. We decided to go check it out, and at the time we met Mr. Nelson, who's also the founder of Sac Prep. And to be honest with you, first of all, I looked at the school and I wasn't too impressed. It was currently at Freeport Elementary, and I looked at it and I said, okay, it's a 1 building, it's a school within a school, and I was a little confused at the beginning, and I wasn't sure, what was going on. He told us about the school's vision. He told us about the students, the scores. We met the teachers, we talked with some of the students, and he invited our oldest son, Brian, to come over for a shadow day and see what Sac Prep was about. Our son went for a shadow day, and when he came back home, he loved it, and he told us how much fun he had. We decided to give Sac Prep a try, and to this day, we don't regret it. Now my oldest son is going to high school next year, and he's already asking me to go to a private high school. We're still deciding if that's going to be a possibility, but currently he's applying at Christian Brothers and Jesuit, and we're trying to see if we can make this happen. But he's also thinking ahead of the game. He's thinking to go to UCLA, and he's thinking how to, he wants to be an attorney. And this is all thanks to the SAC Prep staff and the school that really has an authentic interest in the kids and pushes them to do their best and, you know, do what they do best. Just to wrap up here, the staff has that genuine interest, and I know that if I ever have a question, I can call any of the teachers, and I know I will get a response back right away. And, you know, I'm just really proud parent of SAC Prep. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just one moment, please. We usually adopt the silent hand clap here, so if we could do that. Otherwise, this meeting will take a very long time if you clap after every speaker. Thank you. You may proceed, speaker.
Okay. Good evening, President Rodriguez, members of the board, and the superintendent. First off, I want to thank Sac City School District for partnering with us over the last 10 years. I also want to thank the parents for their support, so everybody in SAC Prep t-shirt, and our SAC Prep staff, who's also here, as well as our board members. My name is Judy Yang. I am the Director of Curriculum and Instruction at SAC Prep, and I've been with SAC Prep for over 8 years as a teacher, a lead teacher, and now as one of the directors. Throughout my years at SAC Prep, I learned that anything is possible. Students will rise up to any expectations you have for them, especially when you're given the tools and opportunities to succeed. The commitment and dedication that students, parents, our board members, and the staff at SAC Prep puts into closing the achievement gap and increasing the academic achievement for all our students is amazing, and is only done through hard work and perseverance. As one of the directors, and as a parent of 4 children currently attending SAC Prep, 1 in kindergarten, 1 in 3rd grade, 1 in 4th grade, and 1 in 8th grade, I urge the board to approve SAC Prep's request to renew the charter tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Angelita Taylor, and I'm a parent of actually 2 SAC Prep students. One is now an alumni, and another one is currently in 8th grade. I've been a part of the SAC Prep family ever since its beginnings in 2003. I actually went through all 5 moves with SAC Prep, and my oldest daughter, who started out in 2003 as a 5th grader, she graduated in the first graduating class in 2007. She went on to attend Christian Brothers High School, graduated with honors in 2011. She is now a sophomore at Tuskegee University on the dean's list. So when looking at the mission of SAC Prep, prepare for college, prepare for life, I can firmly say that they did just that. They've helped my daughter stay focused and achieve her goals. She was admitted into 14 universities, and like I said, she is now a sophomore at Tuskegee University. I currently have an 8th grader at SAC Prep. This is my last hurrah. I actually took her out of another charter school and placed her in SAC Prep when she got in 5th grade. Her test scores at the other private school or other charter school were not as high as they are now. I'm very proud to say I was impressed with her test scores this last year. She scored advanced in math. She was only 7 points away from advanced in the English sections of the test. She got a 100% on the writing portion of the test. She got a 100% in the statistical and probability applications portion of the test. She got a 93% in the quantitative analysis portion of the test. So in my opinion, she's doing quite well and is well on her way to getting into as many colleges and universities and having her pick of where she wanted to go. Currently, she wishes to go to St. Francis High School, so I will try to make that happen for her. But I would please beg the board to say yes to the charter renewal for SAC Prep, as I would like to see other students come through and have the same success as my children have had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final 3 comments are from Kevin Velasquez, Julie Estrella, and Davina Regis.
I would like to start things off by saying good evening, members of the board. My name is Kevin Velasquez. I'm currently an 8th grade student at SAC Prep, and I'm going to say why you guys should want to renew the school. You guys should renew the school because, I mean, all the teachers, they give you great support. They always try to help you. You can always go to them for help. Grades are always great. I mean, our grades are like at the top now. All the students are proud to go to the school all the time. They offer some great things that you can do. So, for example, they've taken us to Sac State, 5th and 6th grades go camping, and, well, just lots of other things that are fun. And, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Julie? No. Just make sure you state your name for the record, please.
My name is Davina Regis, and when I first started SAC Prep, it wasn't what I expected, but better. I thought the teachers were just going to be old people who just, like, do this, but they're actually very nice to me. And, like, one time my teacher pulled me over and said that the test that I just took was the worst I ever done, and he helped me get my grade back up. So, yeah. SAC Prep put a change in my mind, making me think a lot more about college and what I want to be when I grow up. They have lots of strong, non-harmful ways to break our bad habits and keep us updated on our grades. SAC Prep is a great school that deserves to stay around for a while longer. You can help us accomplish this just by saying yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, members of the board, and Superintendent Raymond. My name is Julia Estrella. I am the parent of Emma and Eric, first grader and fourth grader. The reason I'm here today is to beg you to keep the school open for another 3 years. My daughter we were lucky enough to find SAC Prep last year. Our son started in kindergarten and Emma started third. We've seen a huge improvement in Emma. She scored very high on her CST testing. Her teachers have been amazing, staying after school, tutoring her, being accessible. I can text, I can call, I can email, I get a fast response. You know, in public schools, I didn't have that. Unfortunately, it was just a waiting game or no response at all. Emma has gone to 2 other Sacramento schools, and unfortunately, the curriculum didn't compare at all to SAC Prep. She wasn't being challenged. She's focused, she's dedicated, she's striving to go to university. You know, her class is UC Santa Barbara, and Eric is UCLA. So they weren't taught, you know, as soon as they arrived that, you know, those are your goals. You want to make it far, and that education is important. And I can't say enough about Mr. Hernandez, Ms. Yang, and the rest of the staff. They're amazing. When you walk into the office, everyone's friendly, everyone greets you with a smile. They all wear many hats there as well. And we've just been blessed at SAC Prep, and I hope that you guys really consider everybody that's been here and spoken and take everything that they say seriously. Thank you.
We have no further public comment, and now it's time for the board. Board members, do you have any questions, comments? Vice President Wu.
Principal Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
I've been to your school several times. I'm very impressed with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a couple small questions. Right now, you're at enrollment about 223. Next year, expected to be about 250.
Yeah.
What is the physical capacity at?
Currently, the physical capacity, the way it stands now, available space to us would be 10, 14, 15 rooms. So if we filled 15 times 25, figure that math out, it's about 350 students. That's the current with the preschool that's on site that we share the site with currently. But that's the capacity currently right now.
Thank you. You know, I'm very impressed with your API
Thank you.
Particularly the subgroups. I wish you were, I mean, I'm glad you're not having to, if this is approved, I'm glad you won't be having to come back next year, but I'll be really interested in seeing how much improvement that you can make from 897 with English language learners and 915 with the Hispanics and Latinos. I'm also curious what the numbers might be for my Asian Pacific Islanders and their subgroups with your school. So maybe next time.
Yes, I can have that information for you.
Any other board members? Actually, we're still in public hearing, sorry. But we will take that when we move to that point, Member Terry. I do have a couple of things that I want to note. First of all, I did write down Alton Nelson's name because I wanted to give him some recognition as well. Yes. I too have seen this school grow from the 2003 when I first moved to Sacramento, and I've got that flyer in my mailbox as well. And then as a board member, when Councilmember Pinnell asked me to go and visit the school when it was at Genesis Church, and then seeing it move over to Freeport Elementary and then now at Bear Flag. It looks like the expansion has done Sac Prep many good things. And so I look forward to seeing the continued growth. And it's unfortunate that Mr. Nelson could not be here today because I think
he has the flu right now. That's why he couldn't.
I hope he's watching it online. Yeah. Hi, Alton. Because this room is filled up with parents, and I believe this was his vision when he first started out. So that's really good. And you, Mr. Hernandez, for continuing on and making this school such a success in the manner in which it's been, and your leadership.
Thank you.
And as well as Ms. Yang and all the teachers, you can't ignore those, everybody. One of the things, despite, the things that we so typically have like a misconception of is that charter schools survive well because they have more funding and everything's flexible. I just want you to explain a little something to everyone out here in public what you had described to me when I visited your school a couple of months ago about some of the financial things that.
So it's at, as I'm sure the district is aware of, back in was February, March disbursements of our apportionments, we were notified that there was going to be deferments because it was almost a perfect storm of happenings. We had tremendous growth in staffing and students, but as you know, we're paid in arrears. Our apportionments come in arrears, so we were literally funding or running our school based on a 71 student enrollment. We'd stretched our dollar very thin, and had the deferments not occurred, we would have been fine. But we were hit with those deferments, which pushed it out to August and September, which then caused us to have to sell some of our receivables to an organization that would help us fund or finance our school through the interim until we received funding through the April, May, and June months. And it was just a perfect storm of events. We had increased enrollment and deferments because of the state budget. It really threw us off our game, but Ms. Yang, or Judy Yang, works wonders with the budget, and we stretch the dollar very, very thin. We can make a dollar at Sac Prep go miles, and that's what we essentially were doing off of the 71 students, expecting to be paid on time, but we weren't, but we still made it through. We had to skip by, and Ms. Yang and I, we sucked it up a little bit as directors and made some cuts that were necessary to help the school survive and make sure teachers were paid and students were being serviced, so that the students are our most important thing, and that they didn't lose out because of state budget issues.
Thank you. And I'd be remiss to not mention that we have some of your board members from Sac Prep sitting here. And could you all please stand? Because you guys deserve some recognition as well.
So that's Pam Saltenberger is our board chair. Allison McCullough, she is a former principal in the Twin River School District. And Joe DiBiasio, he's a financial group.
Yeah. And we also have one that just resigned, Mr. Bill Schofer.
Oh, and former board chair, Mr. Bill Schopfer.
Yes.
He was one of the founding board members of SAC Prep, and he still helps us to this day through fundraising or just being supportive of the school any way he can.
Thank
going
you.
forward.
Thank you very much. So I don't see any other board comments or questions, but congratulations on your
Thank you.
achievement.
Thank you, guys,
Thank
for
you.
your support.
Thank you. So we will now close the public hearing. And Member Terry, are you still willing to move from conference to action? Thank you. So we have a first by Member Terry and a second by Vice President Wu. All in favor to move from conference to action?
Aye.
All opposed and abstentions? We are now into action. And we have a first to move the item of Resolution 2723, which is, sorry, reading the wrong one, 2724, to approve Seoul Area's college prep renewal. And that is by Member Bell. And the second was, I could not hear, was
Member
too clear.
Kennedy.
Thank you, Member Kennedy. Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed and abstentions? We have approval of your petition. Thank you.
Thank you.